Hello, darlings. Welcome to Terry on Tuesday. Hopefully you can see me. You probably can't. Hopefully you can. I'm just trying to sort out my streaming software, etc. There is one person watching. I'm assuming that's probably Richard. In which case, hello, mate. How you doing? There is a chat box on the side, that side, where you can say hello. I always look at the wrong thing for chat. I see live chat. Here we go. So your names and your hellos come up on the side, so you can ask me questions and stuff there. As the opening title just told you, this is what I'm sneakily, cheekily calling my contractual obligation video. My goal this year is to do a video every Tuesday without fail. So at the end of the year, I'll have 52 videos. That would be the dream. But it's Andrew. Hi, Andrew. How you doing? I know I've got a guy called Richard looking for me as well, but nice to see you. Yesterday was good for me. The 2nd of January, I really got my butt into gear. I did loads of work because I promised to do, a big chunk of work every day. That kind of fell off today, so I'll be working really late, back into the old habits, right, to get everything done. So I'm going to do this video live. It's not going to be a 2-hour one, he says, because I do have work to do before I go to bed, just to keep on top of everything. And the two viewers, so maybe we do have a Richard now. I don't know. If you're there, Richard, say hello in the chat box on the side there. So I'm going to try and keep this sort of under 2 hours, because I do run out of stuff to say. It's about time I started planning my videos like I used to last year and do edited ones and stuff, because I know these live ones are a bit boring. But the advantage of the live ones is it's a little bit more kind of interactive-y, so I can chat to people and they can chat back. It's Andrew Troth. Hello. Hope you're okay. I don't really have a plan for this one. Like I said, it's a contractual obligation, me making sure I had something uploaded on Tuesday. Anthony. Hi, Anthony. How you doing? So I thought what I'd quickly do is go through a couple of my a couple of my Christmas presents and stuff. I didn't have a lot. I never do have a lot, admittedly. But it's not about quantity, it's about quality, and did people put any thought into it? And I didn't get a pony. Another year running, I didn't get a pony. Life, eh? So no, I got some interesting stuff. One of the things I got, which I don't know if this is birthday or Christmas, was this T-shirt. So it's got all the spaceships on it, starting from Infinity with the TARDIS, a long time ago, the Falcon, Saturn V in 1969, the Space Shuttle in 1981. This is supposed to be the Discovery from 2001, A Space Odyssey, and it's just drawn really badly because it's supposed to be a circle on the end. Then you've got 2265, you've got the Enterprise, and at the other end of Infinity, you've got the TARDIS again. So somebody knows me quite well. Talking of T-shirts, I had this today, but it was a sort of birthday stroke Christmas present. The Power of the Doctor. That was a great show. Oh, hang on. Well, The Power of the Doctor, was that the final Jodie Whittaker one? Okay, wasn't that great. But each to their own, I had this for a T-shirt. How's that? That's quite cool. It's got, anything to do with Star Wars in the form of the periodic table of elements. And it's, what size is it? It says large. It's huge, right? I do like huge T-shirts. They're actually comfortable. But that was quite nice. That's a nice little T-shirt there. I usually get a lot of T-shirts every year, and I didn't get a lot. I had 2 this year, so I'm actually having a laundry. You know how people have a life laundry? Jodie's last, that's right, yeah. I'm going to have a laundry. I literally own about 200, maybe more T-shirts, and I seem to be wearing the same 8 or 9 in rotation, so I really should... So I'm just going to mess with my microphone. I really should get them all out The Millennium Falcon, not the Minimum Falcon, that would be the little one. The Millennium Falcon was built in Pembroke, and my mate Mark Williams has set up, in conjunction with Lucasfilm, an official Millennium Falcon exhibition in the shipbuilders thing in Pembroke. So you can go down there and there's like models and stuff and, videos and all sorts of stuff, actually in conjunction with Lucasfilm. So one of the head ladies at Lucasfilm is Llwynwen Brennan, who's from Pembroke. Thank goodness, it was a lucky coincidence, and she gave it the green light. So that was an awesome thing. So yes, had an extra phone cover. I think this is the Matt Smith / David Tennant TARDIS phone cover. It does fit my phone nicely, but at the moment I've got the sort of these sort of leathery case ones. So I put that on, but I'm more sort of with this. You've got something to hold on to, and it acts as a stand, so you can watch videos and stuff. But this will come in handy. I will use this at some point. What else did I have? Back to the Future. Mug and body wash. We have 5 viewers now. So say hello if you're there, if you can. Maybe you don't have YouTube accounts. I didn't think about that. So I'm just going to open this up. This is a Back to the Future flux capacitor mug and body wash. I'm assuming... Ooh, it's like an unboxing video. Ooh, here we go. Dr. Mad Studio. Evening, Hammerheads. Yes, indeed. So, okay, so we got a mug. Powered by flux capacitor and coffee. And on this side, it's got all the dates from the time machine, and it comes with a little thingy of shampoo, shower gel, body wash thing. I'm assuming you don't put them on there and drink them. Do you know what? I do not own Matthew H. Hello, mate. I don't own any of the Back to the Future films, which is weird. I mean, as a trilogy, it's one of the very few perfect trilogies. You don't need to remake it. You don't need to add anything. You don't need to take anything away. They're fine as they are. And apparently Bob Zemeckis has said, while I'm alive, no one's remaking it. So all this stories you've heard of Tom Holland playing Marty McFly in a reboot, it ain't going to happen. I pretty much believe that. Yeah, I think I should at least buy the first one because it is a classic of filmmaking, and you can learn a lot about writing films just from watching that film. Absolutely perfect. A lot of people think they're Spielberg films. It's Bob Zemeckis. I think did Spielberg or Amblin produce them? But yeah, not directed by Steven Spielberg. So what else? This might interest Matthew H. Buppies, B-Boys, Baps and Bohos. Oh, wow, look at that. Oh, it's the white balancing going weird. By Nelson George. Notes on post-soul black culture. This a friend of mine gave me this. He had this... hope they don't reboot Star Wars. Well, they're going to keep going with it. Dr. Mad Studio. Not much happened today with me, although I've been listening to a Star Wars audio drama from 1983 called Rebel Mission to Ord Mantell. I do like audios. Especially, I do like some Star Wars audios. So this book a friend of mine gave me, it's, I haven't even got into it yet, but it's basically, it's, non-fiction. It's all about the uprising and the growing of different rap artists, hip-hop artists, which is my thing. So let's have I'll quickly read the blurb on the back because I haven't really gotten into it. It says, in this new and expanded edition of this classic collection of essays, Nelson George covers contemporary black culture over the past 30 years in music, film, sports, publishing, fashion, politics, and city life, uptown and down. From an obituary for Tupac Shakur to an investigation into the business of hip-hop to a greeting for Latrell Sprewell and a farewell to Michael Jordan, he updates his take on nearly every arena of black America, introducing roisterous rappers and legendary hoopsters, streetwise hustlers and influential filmmakers, unsung musicians, impassioned politicians and crack dealers. George's vibrant work clearly remains a definitive take on modern African-American culture. So it's a nice bit of dropping science, as they say, on your head. I will be reading that occasionally. On about radio, I remember to Radio 1 Star Wars series in 1981. Yes, if you go to YouTube, someone has edited all of the Radio 1. In the States, it was, what was it called? Public Service Broadcasting. They got the funding to do it with Mark Hamill and Anthony Daniels and edit them all together so you can listen to them all. I do have them on disc somewhere. And I really like the extra little scenes they threw in. And some of the voice casting was brilliantly. Although I will say, once you get into Empire and Jedi or Star Wars audios, if you've ever heard those, they get worse. In Empire Strikes Back, they have brought in Billy D. Williams. And I think Anthony Daniels stays in as C-3PO, but Mark Hamill's gone. And no, I could be wrong. I think Mark Hamill's still in Empire. But when you get to Jedi... blimey, I think you've only got Billy D. Williams, and it's just the guy playing Luke Skywalker doesn't sound like Mark Hamill. You know, the guy Perry King, who played Han Solo, was great, and Anne Sachs, who played Princess Leia, she was great. The guy Bernard Behrens, who played Ben Kenobi, it sounds like Ben Kenobi with an American accent. It's interesting. Dr. Mad Studio. I've got 2 fan-made audios of Indiana Jones, The Well of Life, and The Bridge to Yesterday. Oh, that sounds interesting. But does he sound like Harrison Ford? I think because things like that, when you've got an iconic character, you know, it's like Doctor Who audios. You've got to have a sound alike. I got lots of friends who do a lot of audio, sort of fan audios of Doctor Who, where they play their own Doctor, and it's great. But if you can't picture the Doctor, you're just hearing a guy's voice saying doctory things, you know what I mean? I've only ever played... I played Batman, obviously, but I did that in the Kevin Conroy voice. And I played the Master, but I played the Roger Delgado Master online. But I did play... Actually, I did play the Doctor once. Just as a... Bernard Behrens was thing. Darth Vader was played by the guy who played Benjamin Sisko's father. I could Google it, but I'm not going to bother right now. But yes, he does a good Darth Vader. Yeah, I'll give him that. Yeah, I have played the Doctor for Mark Hamill. Does a great. Yeah, he does. Yeah, well, you know, you can type this shit, but you sure can't say it like that. Yes, we've all heard of Etsy. It's a great site to purchase fan-made props. It is, but it's not cheap. Every time I go to Etsy, I look for Jack Sparrow stuff and other things like that, and you see good prices, and then you go to the shipping, you go, because you know stuff in the States is expensive to ship over. Etsy is. You know, I go to eBay and Amazon first and then Etsy if I'm desperate. I have bought stuff from Etsy, but it's not cheap. Yeah, so I did play the Doctor for about 10 minutes at the start of an audio where the Doctor gets injured and regenerates into a female Doctor. And this happened years before Jodie Whittaker. I don't know if it still exists. It's on a company called, I think it's Misfits Audio online. So, DVDs... my brother bought me a stack of DVDs off my Amazon wish list. They're all classics. There's nothing brand new. But finally got the Blu-ray of Escape from New York. One of my favourite films from the 80s. It's set in 1997. I recently saw Escape from New York in the cinema. As Brock Peters. Thanks, Anthony. That was the guy. Yeah, I'd like to listen to his Indie Jones ones. Escape from New York was in the cinema. Was it last year or the year before? Remastered as part of the John Carpenter sort of tour of four John Carpenter movies. Escape from New York was great. The cinema we went to was full of students because it was like a Wednesday night, and there was only 2 parts where the students laughed where they shouldn't laugh. I think it was when Lee Van Cleef pulls out what's called a field telephone. So essentially, it's a mobile phone. It's about that big that they use, soldiers use. And I think the students laughed at it because they were expecting something small, like a Nokia 3330. Dr. Mad Studio, the Escape from New York cover art was made by Paul Shipper. I'll take your word for that, but that's a great That's a great cover, that is. I tell you what else. I must have heard this before, but I completely forgot. The narration at the start of Escape from New York. Wow, Cameo Cinema. Yeah, last film I saw in the Cameo Cinema was Predator. No, the voiceover at the start of Escape from New York, where you hear a woman's voice talking about the New York is now a maximum security prison, and when they're marching Snake Plissken in the, when they're sort of marching him in, you can hear the same woman's voice saying, "Stay on the orange line. You'll get shot if you try and make any quick moves and stuff." That's all Jamie Lee Curtis. I can't remember none of that. Another cheery, futuristic one. Well, kind of futuristic. When the Wind Blows, which is a animated from what year? High definition. 1986. Featuring the voices of Sir John Mills and Dame Peggy Ashcroft. Based on a kid, not really a kid's book, but it's a lovely illustrated book about an old couple who have been warned that there may be a third world war coming up, and the old guy said, "I fought in the war. This is what we have to do," and he's going through the whole protect and survive and doing stuff that they thought in the war. We'll make sandwiches, it'll all blow over in 2 weeks, etc. But it gets more and more sad and desperate and depressing. I do have a soft spot for nuclear war type films. Not very cheery, admittedly, but I'm looking forward to watching that on Blu-ray. There's some good bits actually. The characters are 2D, but the environments they're in, their house, is it's great, because you're reading the story, and all of a sudden you come to a big open page spread, double page spread, and there's no words. It's just a very dark picture of a submarine underwater. Then you go a bit further along, then there's a very dark silhouette of a plane above, because it's all kicking off. And the sets of the house that they're in are actual models, but the characters are 2D. There's a bit where he walks up, go down the corridor. Threads. Don't get me started on Threads. I can talk for hours about Threads. I'm a massive fan of it, and I'm keep this to yourself. I'm in negotiations to be writing the novelization of it. Anyway, Raymond Briggs sadly passed away on August 9th last year. What a year for deaths, right? If you've seen my my 2022 roundup video, I didn't realise there were that many celebrity deaths. And then since then, we Pele and Vivienne Westwood. So yeah, great. There's a scene where he walks down the corridor, that's what I was saying, and he grabs his coat, which is in 3D, like a plasticine coat, and he grabs it, and as he puts it on, it goes into 2D. Just really, really subtle, really clever. Next DVD, From the Sublime to the Ridiculous, the full, complete edition of Fawlty Towers. Who doesn't love Fawlty Towers? This is, they only made 13 episodes. It's crazy, isn't it? A lot of people say that the second season suffers slightly, because at the time when they were writing it, John Cleese was married to Connie Booth, who's an American, and she plays English in this. I didn't realise. But they got divorced halfway between the first and second season of Fawlty Towers. And so, a lot of people say it lacks something because it's purely written by John Cleese in the second thing. But it says here there's tons and tons of... Oh, I know, Andrew. Kelly Monteith was 80. He died. I posted that up on Facebook and Twitter. I was a massive fan of Kelly Monteith. He started off in this country on the Des O'Connor show on ITV. Audiences loved his humour. He was like a bit Dana Carvey in a way, and the BBC gave him 2 series of his show, and I watched an episode of it last night on YouTube, and it's still funny to this day. And that was the 80s, early 80s. Special features on the Fawlty Towers DVD. I really need to put my brainy specs on because I keep getting headaches and I don't put my specs on enough. Special features: audio commentaries with John Cleese for series 1 and 2. Audio commentary with John Howard Davis. I guess he's the producer. Yes, he is. Series 1. Audio commentary with Bob Spires, Series 2. He was the director, yes. 2009 interviews with John Cleese, Andrew Sachs, Prunella Scales, Torquay Tourist Office, Cheap Tatty Review, outtakes, bonus booklet, and an Easter egg. They still put Easter eggs? Wow, they still put Easter eggs on DVDs. And I'm too lazy to go searching for them. I just have to Google them and go, where's the Easter egg? I want to see it. I wonder what that is. Final... Let's have a look. Yeah, some of this stuff on Etsy is ridiculously expensive. America has... Yeah, you get... The minimum postage from the States is about 19 quid. And when you want to buy Jack Sparrow stuff, which is, you know, you're talking in the realm of around 100 quid for bits and bobs, then you've got to throw shipping on top. I had the full Like It or Lump It, the Star Trek trilogy. It's a little bit hit and miss, but I was very intrigued by the very first film. Into Darkness was okay. Beyond was slightly better than Into Darkness, as I recall. But I do like Chris Pine and Zachary. I think you won't get a better Spock than Zachary Quinto. I like that they finally brought... what's her name? Shanna? Lala? No. Tala? Taka? I can't remember. And Taika. Yeah, she's going to... Well, if they do go ahead with the fourth one, which is on and off like crazy, she'll be a crew member, which is kind of good timing because obviously Anton Yelchin died at the end, in between, after they finished filming the third one. But yeah, I quite like the Star Trek films. The first one obviously directed by J.J. Abrams with lens flare all over the shop. I don't have what I was looking for. Never mind. But yeah, they toned it down in the second and third one, but there is lens flare on them just to keep it, you know. It's even on the title, that lens flare up the top there, on top of the R, and obviously down there. Yeah. Yes. Even if you live in the States, it's no better. They still charge you between $20 to $40. Wow, that's crazy, isn't it? Well, we have 6 viewers and 4 likes already, so thank you for that. As I've said, the original Star Trek, yeah, I love the original Star Trek, and I love The Next Generation. I'm not a big fan of the Deep Space Nine. I thought it was too talky. I want the exploration-y bit, and I did like Voyager. I loved Voyager, actually. What have we got here? Somebody messaging me, trying to say hello, but I'm 53. Richard, you might be on by now, I'm guessing, because you sent me a message. You subscribed to my channel. If you're on, Richard, say hello down in the chat, or drop me a quick message on here. Okay, right, let's knock that off. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Discovery. I've seen about 5 episodes of Strange New Worlds, which I liked. Discovery was... I don't know about that. I did like Picard. A lot of people hated Picard, but apparently season 3 of Picard knocks it out the park because it's like a big budget, you know, a really big budget continuation of The Next Generation. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, so that's the DVDs. Oh, I did get these. If anyone from Fry's wants to sponsor my channel, please pay me in these Fry's chocolate creams. Dark chocolate with mint fondant inside. Oh, just takes me back to my childhood, man. Stunning stuff. So yeah, as we all get back to normal, as we all go back to normal in a new year, and well, it's not that normal. You never grew up watching Star Trek. Don't know why. I was in my teens. Yeah. Well, in the UK, definitely they. I grew up with Star Trek. In fact, if you look there, hanging on the wall is upside down a phaser, a tricorder, and communicator from the 60s, the toy versions. I always wanted those as a kid. I used to read the American comic books, and in the back would be like, oh, phaser, communicator, tricorder. And I was like, I could never afford them, and they're in the States. Did you get those from Tesco in Astromonarch? What, these? I don't know. I'm assuming whoever bought me them got them from Tesco's in Astromonarch. You're right. I was talking about this to you. Yeah, Fries, man. Can't beat a bit of dark chocolate, can you? I was talking about this to you guys, probably Andrew, about my Simon Jones from Hitchhiker's autograph. Well, it wasn't a piece of paper which was this big. It was actually the ticket for St. David's Hall, June 2012, and it says, "Terry, don't panic, all the best, Simon Jones." And I found that in a scrapbook. I haven't kept the scrapbook for years. But I did find this book I had. I wrote scrapbook on the front, 2009 onwards, and it's absolutely crammed with flyers, posters, tickets, photos, bits of artwork, stickers, concert tickets and stuff. And I found that in there. So part of me said, leave it in the book. You won't lose it again. But as you can see behind me, I've got that's a Best Shot postcard, but next to Best Shot, just off screen, is my Kenny Everett autograph. Then you got Kate Beckinsale on my door, which is also out of shot. I wonder if I can turn it round. Hang on. Okay, just over there is my actual, not a print, but the real LL Cool J autograph. Kenny Everett, Best Shot. I'm going to change that from Best Shot to something else. Kate Beckinsale. And over this side, I don't know if we can put this over here. You can just see up there. That's an Off-World film patch. That's a label for Bantha milk that someone made for me. That's the thing from The Office in the States about soups. And this is as far as I can tell, a genuine Douglas Adams signature from the first page of the Mostly Harmless book, which I paid a lot of money for, from the States. Anyway, guys and gals, like I say, I've been live now for 27 minutes, so we'll go for a bit longer. What have we got here? Well, I won't be able to go to Liverpool this week, no thanks to these strikes. I've always relied on trains. Me too. I'm a public transport person. One of my most cherished autographs is Fred Dibner. Oh, the steeplejack. Old Fred, yeah. Blimey, he'd climb up some chimneys and stuff at his age. Yeah. Why? Interesting to see why you got an autograph of Fred Dibner. That's better. I'm dehydrated and I've got loads of work to do tonight. I'm currently illustrating 2 children's books at once. And it's a tricky one because they're both about birds. One's about a duck and one's about a pigeon. And I hate drawing animals at the best of times. I'd rather draw people. Matthew, weirdly had a Captain Kremen, correct spelling, digital watch. Did you really? Oh, man. I'd love that. There's very little Captain Kremen merchandise around. Obviously, when he was on ITV to begin with, on the Kenny Everett video show, the Captain Kremen cartoon was done by Cosgrove Hall, who did Danger Mouse, etc. And when they got back to the BBC, when the BBC had picked him back up, he did Captain Kremen in live action with costumes and stuff on. There are lots of Captain Kremen adventures on radio that he did, and I think those should be, animated too. You got all the voices, you got all the music, you got everything else. Just animate Captain Kremen. All right, then, if you're a Captain Kremen, Andrew and Matt, what was Captain Kremen's full name? First name, middle name, surname. I'll leave you that for a second. Working class folks like Fred, my great grandfather was a lot like him in so many ways. It's people like him made his country great in the first place. Yeah, I mean, it was a different time, and people had. My parents said to me, "You've got to get a trade under your belt. It doesn't matter what you want to do." And I told them I wanted to be an astronaut and I wanted to be an actor and all this stuff, and they're like, "You've got to get a trade. You've got to learn how to do something." I think I disappointed them because all I can do is draw. But it pays the bills today. My mum bought it from Llandaff North Post Office by the station, as I recall. That's awesome. I would like to get some Captain Kremen merchandise. I do have a 7-inch copy of Snot Wrap. Is it here? It may even be in a box here because I'm trying to. There's a mess everywhere. I'm trying to sort it out. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Let's quickly go through a bunch of old 7-inch singles. Okay, first one. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the theme music, the TV theme music. It's actually called Journey of the Sorcerer by the Eagles. But this is the theme that I bought and I've never listened to because I haven't got a decent turntable. I've got one, but it's not great. Oh, blimey. Look what I found. Walker's Crisps Star Wars Tazos. Do you remember Tazos? There was these plastic things. You can play games with them. You can also connect them together like that. They came in a pack of 50. No, they came in like, I think you got one per packet of crisps, and the full range was 50. So this one is number 21. This one is number 20, and this one is number 19. Also 19, 20, and 21. But these are spares. I've got the full set of 50, and I've got the little booklet that they all go in. They're not worth very much. Here's me thinking, oh, I'll collect a lot, they'll be worth a lot. Not really. Maybe a tenner, you know. Well, this is mostly my Billy Joel collection, actually. This is a fold-out that came out on Valentine's Day in the 80s, a song called This Night, which he based, the music at least, he based on a Beethoven tune. What's this one? I Go to Extremes, that must have been early 90s. We Didn't Start the Fire, that's the other one that everyone knows. Tell Her About It from 1985, 84. That was a big hit. The Longest Time from the same album. He sounds very much like Cliff Richard in this, not too fussed. Billy Joel, Leningrad, that was the 90s. The River of Dreams, a lot of people know that one. In the Middle of the Night. Here we're back to the Billy Joel. It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, one of his big hits from good question. 1980. Oh, so later than I thought. Dr. Mad Studios got a couple of. Oh yeah, you've got the Tazos full set. Yeah, me too. Like I say, unfortunately not worth a lot. Dr. Mad Studio, I've got a couple of vinyls, some of which belong to my granddad. He's very much a music guru. Ah, cool. All Shook Up. I thought this was weird. This is Billy Joel doing his best Elvis impersonation for the Nicolas Cage film Honeymoon in Vegas. There's a load of Elvis songs on the soundtrack. This is the one everyone knows, obviously, Uptown Girl from 1985, 83. And for some reason, I don't recall having two, but now I can put them on the wheels of steel and mix them, right? A very rare LPs that I got from Kelly's Records in Cardiff. Yeah, I don't even know where Kelly's Records is anymore. Don't you mean Newport? I'm sure there's Kelly's Records in Newport. Spiller's in Cardiff. This is an old one. Billy Joel, The Entertainer, and Piano Man, which was his first single, October 1973, with the jukebox adapter thing in the middle. This is a copy of An Innocent Man by Billy Joel that I didn't have the cover. I think it came in one of these, ones with a hole in the middle. So I basically drew it in biro. It's not great. I used a silver pen for the writing up here, An Innocent Man. But I basically drew it in biro back in 1980 something. So, kept me out of trouble for a couple of hours, I guess. We Didn't Start the Fire. Yeah, okay. Leave a Tender Moment Alone, also from An Innocent Man. I'm sure BDP interpolated Billy Joel melody on the first and second LP. I tell you who did sample Billy Joel melody was Cool G Rap and DJ Polo, Road to the Riches. It goes ba-dum dum ba-dum dum ding 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 ding. It's a piano riff. That's all Billy Joel. It's a song called Stiletto. Now we're getting into the soul and funk. We got Full Force, Alice, I Want You Just For Me. Always thought they were quite hilarious to look at, but they did work with Samantha Fox, so I'll give them that. And Alice was a great tune. What year was that? 1985. Good year for music. Indoor Market. Yes, yes, you're right. Sorry, upstairs. Yeah, keep forgetting about that. I always go there looking for my own records. Dion Estes. Spell. Dion Estes was the bass player and backing vocalist for George Michael and Wham, and he did launch his own music career. He died about a year or two ago, actually. No, last year I think he died. Where he was playing bass guitar for Rob Lamberti, the George Michael tribute act I saw recently. Yeah, he was good, and he had George Michael helping him on songwriting. Talking of George, Wham, Young Guns, Go For It. I didn't buy this. I was actually given this 1982 CBS Records. Special thanks to Shirley and Lorraine. So you've got Pepsi and Shirley and Lorraine. Lorraine? Lorraine who? It wasn't Pepsi and Shirley, it was Lorraine. It was one of the other backing singers. I was given that. Here we are. The aforementioned Snot Rap, Kenny Everett. And on the back, Snot Rap Part 2. And this was co-written by Barry Cryer. What year was it? 83. Kenny Everett. Here's one of the oldest records I own. Not old in years, but how battered and stuff it is. Run DMC and My Adidas, Peter Piper. I've covered the entire record in sellotape to stop it crumbling anymore. The entire case. So it's got Raising Hell on the back. What state is the vinyl in? Let's have a look. Probably scratched to hell and back, because I used to you know. But I wonder if that even plays. Everyone must have that, you know. It's classic. What we got here? This is an obscure one. Australian artist Danielle Gahar, or Daniel Gar, I think you pronounce it. Gorgeous looking bird, model and stuff. She had a lot of money thrown at her by Sony. Epic Records in 1992, had 2 hits and disappeared. But I found one of her songs on. She did a song called. Wasn't this one anyway? I like this one because it was a bit swing beat. But I did message her on Facebook, YouTube, and she messaged me back. This was a classic ballad. Vanessa Williams, Save the Best for Last. I don't know if this was from a film or something. It might have been. But Vanessa Williams was the first black Miss America as well. But what a stunner. What an absolute stunner. Love that tune. Okay, here's another one for you, Matt. Word of Mouth featuring DJ Cheese. Coast to Coast, we're your MC hosts, and everybody knows we rock the most. Coast to Coast with DJ Cheese. DJ Cheese obviously was the DMC champion DJ. That's him down the bottom there. And what's on the other side? It's just the instrumental. So yeah, used to love the old Word of Mouth featuring DJ Cheese. Going forward a bit to the 90s, I would say 92, yes. Definition of Sound, Can I Get Over? It's still a rap tune, but they do have a lot of singing in their songs. You know, their most famous songs are things like Maura Jane's Cafe. But Can I Get Over is really good. Reverse the Hearse is more of a sort of reggae rap tune, which is a better song, in fact. But I did meet both the guys back in 94 when we were on tour. The guy with the cap is Don, and the guy with the sunglasses is Kevin. And Kevin now works in, what do you call it, music A&R man. But I had a chat with Kevin, and he was like, yeah, man, you want to come up to London? We'll go around digging in the crates looking for some vinyl. Because there was the chance that we could have ended up working with them as a band. But obviously our manager didn't give them any business cards or something. It never happened. But they both seemed like nice dudes. Right, here we go. One of Kenny Everett's earliest jobs was being a presenter on BBC Radio Merseyside. That's right. In the building, they've got a wall of presenters on the ears, and he's on there. And so he should be, absolutely. This is, well, I hope there's a certain person on my Facebook friends list who's going to be shocked if he's watching this. This is a Cardiff band called Pressure Point. It's from 1981-82, and they're sitting on the grass at Cardiff Castle there. And they were the winners of the Welsh Rock and Pop Champions, apparently. Now, the reason I've got this, I mean, it's even... Yes, that's right, Definition of Sound were top billing MCs. I didn't know they were in the X-Posse, though. I just thought they were just called top billing MCs, because they did a song called Naturally, didn't they? This record, unfortunately, has got a ding taken out of it. You can just about play it. Straight to the point and big deal. This was a winner. This was, much like Best Shot, they won a single release as part of the Welsh Rock and Pop Champions 81-82. And the reason I've got this record is the lead singer chap here is John Allen. I hope he's still with us. John Allen, we all got to know John when he became a bouncer in my local pub on disco nights where I was the DJ. And he's a super nice guy, John. I'm sure he's still on Facebook. I'll have to get in touch actually and show him about that. Or at least the Cardiff Music Hub page. So that's all the very weird and wild selection of 7 inches that I still have. Tell you quite a disgusting story before we go. I'm surprised that these don't smell. I mean, they do smell of old records and dusty covers. But I remember waking up at 3 in the morning once, and my little brother was relieving himself, urinating, shall we say, because he was drunk, in my box of singles. So they were very wet for a long time, so they do not reek. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's the Star Wars. We got 7 viewers. Hi, 7 viewers. Apart from the guys in the chat, say hello down in the chat box. Let's see who's watching. This is the Star Wars Tazos clip folder. Is this the one you've got, Matt? So yeah, you've got blah 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 blah, and you fit the Tazos. Oh, there are some in there. So the 3 I showed you must have just fallen out. Yeah, so you just fit them all in there. Oh, most of them are actually in here, but I know my collection of 50s are wrapped up in masking tape somewhere. Keep them safe. So this is almost a full set. I'll have to put those 3 back in here at some point. But again, you can. I think I bought this at a convention for about a £5. So even if you get it full with a full set of Tazos, it's not worth a lot. But maybe one day, you know, to my grandchild, maybe it'll be worth something to her. So that's it. Yeah. Back in the 80s, Liverpool was exploding with many local bands. My dad's favourite were Cook the Books. They were regulars at the Matthew Street Festival, which has since discontinued, unfortunately. No, I'm not aware of that, but one of Kenny Everett's earliest jobs as a presenter and video. Sorry, I've already mentioned that one. Yeah, I still got some trading cards from my youth. Most of them are Doctor Who, Digimon and Disney's Gargoyles. Well, if you don't want the Digimon and Pokemon ones, can I have them? It's just that I've got a friend who's got Pokemon cards that I'm pretty sure I had when my daughter collected them in '96. And now they're worth a fortune. If only I could be sitting on a fortune like my mate. He's sitting on a lot of money. And it's not that he doesn't want to sell them because he's a collector. It's more that he wants to get a decent price for them, and they're worth a lot. I did start watching most of Gargoyles last year or the year before. Great show. They should bring it back because you've got Jonathan Frakes, Riker from Star Trek, and Marina Sirtis, who played Troy, doing voices. Great show. Got them from crisp packets, those Tazos. Yes, we did. Walker's Crisps. And I nearly... my ex and her siblings ate many crisps for me. That's right. This is dust because of the records there. Goodness me. Yeah, dusty. I'm just quickly going to check my Facebook page because I've got a message popping up here. That's okay, nothing major. So yeah, the live thing's working quite well, isn't it? I mean, I've got 9 viewers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a bit of a celebration. That's the highest number of viewers I've had. It's great when you see live videos from people like John Campier, movie reviews, and they've got, I was watching NASA Spaceflight today because they cover SpaceX launches. Good morning, Mr. Glazebrook and David Nagel. I don't think I got it. Yeah, I think you got to watch it from the beginning because it's not so much an episodic thing, although it is, but there's an ongoing arc of it. As a movie, I think it worked really well. But what I was saying is, I've never had 9 viewers before. I was watching NASA Spaceflight earlier covering a SpaceX launch, and they had like 11.5 thousand viewers, which is not much considering compared to some live streams, but man, imagine having that many people watching and super chatting you and all the chat. You can't even keep up with the chat, and they're sending money in to ask questions. Oh, I'd love that. But I'm not interesting enough, and I'm too rambly to talk about, one thing. I just keep going. Dr. Mad Studio says, I always remember recording episodes of Gargoyles back on VHS back in the late 90s and early 2000s. It used to air on the Disney Channel and Toon Disney. Yeah, Disney have always treated their cartoons quite badly, unless it was like the big ones, like, your Snow Whites and your Little Mermaids and all this kind of stuff, and Aladdin's. The smaller stuff that was their TV stuff, they always kind of like messed about with it. One of the best most recent Disney TV shows was Tron Uprising. I've got all 19 episodes. If you haven't seen Tron Uprising, it's drawn in a very weird style. It's a mixture of 2D cel shaded and CGI, but it's set in the kind of Tron Legacy. It's a prequel to Tron Legacy. It's fantastic. Really big cast. I mean, the main character is voiced by Frodo Baggins, that guy, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head. Please, someone help me in the chat. And Bruce Boxleitner as Tron. And Clue is in it as well, but he's not voiced by by Jeff Bridges, but he's voiced by a guy called, I want to say Jim Cummings, but I don't think it's Jim Cummings. Fred Tatasciore, and he does the best Jeff Bridges voice you've ever heard. So, to me, it's Jeff Bridges. It's really good cast in Tron Uprising, and it's not like it's an episodic one, but it does move along as you get through the entire series. It talk about the beginning of the uprising, the Flynn lives thing. It's all set in the grid. It's amazing. Right, where are we on? We're on 47 minutes, guys. I'm going to start winding this down a little bit. I know we've had 9 viewers, and I'm really grateful that 9 people are watching. Jim Cummings is great. I had a job in the early 90s, mid 90s, for 5 years in an animation studio, and the first thing I heard was the thing I was working on. We had the voice of Jim Cummings. He was great, but he does Winnie the Pooh and stuff, doesn't he? John Rhys Davies was in Indiana Jones and Lord of the Rings, voiced the character Macbeth in Gargoyles. Yes, he did indeed. And so did Clancy Brown and a number of other characters I can't think off the top of my head. Really good show, Gargoyles, actually. I may have to jump back onto that because I need to get back onto my cross trainer, so I need something to watch episodically while I'm working out to try and drop some weight. John Rhys Davies, yeah, I've heard that he was. I've heard stories that he's a nice guy and stories that he's horrible. But then at conventions, they generally have to be nice to you, unless they're in a bad mood. So like I said, I'm really chuffed that we got 9 people watching, whoever you are, because I didn't expect anyone to be watching. I feel guilty that I didn't film and edit a video for Tuesday, but at least this is going up on Tuesday as my first video of 2023, so that's something. It's a bit of a cop-out, admittedly, just doing a quick live, but I will endeavour to do something, say next week, Sunday or Monday. I'll try and shoot something and have it uploaded ready for Tuesday. But I do have a lot of work to do, and I'm trying this year to get back in the saddle as regards my day job, which is illustration, because last year I did let things slide a bit. I was getting a bit slow. I was getting very slow, in fact. An illustration that would have taken me a day to do was taking me a week. And sometimes I was like blowing it off and going, I haven't got the energy. So I've really got to get my head in the game. This comes in a year where I've just basically accepted. I haven't been diagnosed, but I've accepted I'm pretty much ADHD and have been for many years. Because when I look at the research and the statistics of someone ADHD, although I'm not as hyperactive as people with ADHD, but there is a type, that's what they call ADD. It explains why for example, for years I'd walk around a shop and I'd be going, "Ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's that? That's nice. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's this?" Ooh. And I'm going around touching stuff, and people I used to be with would be like, "Why are you constantly touching things?" I'm an artist. I like to know what things feel like and blah blah blah. But apparently that's one of the symptoms of ADHD, and the way I fail to maintain long-term relationships, and the way I organize things, where I don't organize things, the way literally sit in a room full of clutter, and I need to have things visually on walls and like all around me so I can see where they are instead of having them locked away, which takes us back to this Simon Jones autograph. Dr. Mad Studio, hyped for Offworld. It may be an independent film. Yes, I don't know if you saw a little clip of it that I sneakily played, but I couldn't leave online. I think I gave everyone like 10 minutes to have a look. And, you know, it was the film that taught me so much about film because everything went wrong. But at the end of the day, the film is still watchable. It's still in a form that the American distributor wants to take a chance on it and hopefully sell it. It doesn't mean we're going to make millions. It doesn't even mean we're going to make anything because they have to spend money to promote it before, and they have to earn that back before I get any. So I don't know. And when the money does come in, I don't get it straight away. It'll go to a bank account, and then we're going to pay our actors because that was the deal. And Bloody Students, we got to crack on with that. We need to look at a crowdfunder now because I've used up all the goodwill of my friends and family. Let's just say friends, because family never invest in my stuff. It's the year of Bloody Students, and I said this at the start. I said this a year ago. If we don't manage to make enough money to make the film, because we have to pay the crew, we have to pay the editors, we have to pay for catering. I want to pay the actors this time, so no one's working for free because they're coming from all over the place. I'm not paying myself, but I want to pay everyone who works on it. And we've got to hire the location. We've got to buy stuff to make sets and props, etc., and costumes, etc. I think the disclaimer is if we don't seem to have enough money, that things are going to be really hard to make the film. I'll push it back a couple of months, maybe end of the year, maybe early 2024, just so we got more time to raise money. I'll do what I can, which I think the crowdfunding campaign is probably going to come in handy. We'll try Indiegogo this time because it's very film based, and I'll do some research and some tips and see what we can do for that. Okay, so we're coming up to 52 minutes. I've fortunately managed to play a little clip, the Terry on Tuesday jingle at the start. I managed to get that to play at the start of this video. I may even try, I can't even play it, so I've closed the window. But that will do it for me for this contractually obliged video for my first one for 2023. Thank you to everyone in chat. Thank you for the regulars now. It's cool because we got like three Andrews. Matt and Dr. Mad Studio and David, and usually we have Vicky and Tracy watching. There are currently 8 people watching and 8 likes, so thank you so much for that. Awesome to see you guys and girls, and whoever else is lurking in chat. Nice to see you as well. I will hopefully be back with next week's video, which in my mind, I'm saying, and again, I'm not excusing it because of the ADHD thing, but I may completely change my mind. But basically, next week, I may start revealing one of my big builds. I've got a big build to do in, well, you've probably seen it in a previous video, actually. I'm only here for the Andrews. Yeah, it's going to be called the Andrew Club at the end of the day. Weirdly, my middle name is Richard, but my brother's middle name is Andrew, so there you go. It's not just me. Oh, I did ask earlier on, does anyone know Captain Kremen's full name? His name is Elvis Brandenburg Kremen. I think Brandenburg might actually be Elvis Presley's middle name as well. It's either that or it was Hitler's middle name, I'm not sure. But Captain Kremen's name is Elvis Brandenburg Kremen. Okay, so 54 minutes. I'm going to try and finish early as opposed to going over. I know the 2-hour videos are too much for people to watch, but some people have been going back to watch them. I'll see you guys next week. I'm not changing my name to Andrew. You can forget it. It's a Scottish name anyway. I'm Richard. I'm English. You change your name to Andrew, it'd be like, what? You've got too many names already, Matt. I know this. I'm like, it's like Eminem. There's Marshall Mathers, Eminem, Slim Shady, and you got Junior Disprol, Matt H, etc., etc. Raps the T, Terry Cooper, all this. So getting back to what I was saying. What was I saying? Big build revealed next week. I think I've already talked about it. Elvish Aaron Presley. Hi Kevin, how you doing? Just jumped in at the last minute. We're about to go. It's an hour long, so you can go back and watch it whenever you feel like it. But I've got a good few hours of work to do now in order to keep up my 2023 kind of resolution of to get back in the saddle and get the work done every day instead of messing about. So I will love you and leave you. Thanks for watching, guys and gals, and everyone else in the chat. Lovely to see you all. Hope you had a good New Year. Stay safe, as Dr. Mad Studio says. Stay safe. Take care. I hope you're all well, and I will see you very soon. Well, next week, most probably. Take care now, and bye-bye then.